So it's time to start using the quadratic formula to solve equations. In part 2, we spent a lot of time deriving a very complex formula. Now we started with the principle that if we had an equation that was of this format, we could solve it. And then we took that in general, any quadratic, and deduced a rather complex formula, which we're now going to use. So, this is the formula. And at first you'll look at it and go, wow, that's complicated. But over time it will become routine to use. So, let's take this formula, which solves equations that look like this, and let's actually apply it. So here, A is 2, B is 7, and C is minus 5. And what we're going to do is substitute those values into the formula. So, what we do is we write the formula down, and you do this to make sure in the long run you remember it quicker. Now let's substitute the values in. So B is 7. A is 2 and C is minus 5 all over 2a, so 2 times 2. So x is minus 7 plus minus 49 plus 40. Be very careful here with your two negatives. All over 4. So that is minus 7 plus minus root 89 over 4. That's how we say this, root 89. All we've done here is put them into the formula and worked it out. And we've done it in a non-calculator method. And if this was a non-calculator question, here are your two answers. Minus 7 plus root 89 over 4, or minus 7 minus root 89 over 4. Job done. If we want to use our calculator, we can do it in several ways. So first off, we can put this in, which is press the fraction button and do minus 7 plus root 89, press down, put over 4. And that will bring up the same thing, and we can press S to D and get a decimal. Now we don't need the whole decimal, enough to put 3 dots after 4 or 5 places, and then we round it to 3 significant figures. Now, to do the second value, where it's the negative, if we're clever, use your replay keys, if you have a Casio, go back up to here and press delete. Then put a subtract where the plus was. Don't worry about the fact it changes it. And your second value is minus 4.1084 ... which is minus 4.11 to 3 significant figures. Now, could you have put it in up here? Yes, you could. So watch me do this now. First off, the whole fraction needs to be set up. And it's minus 7. I can't put both versions in, so I'm going to put plus in. The square root of 7 squared. Take away 4 times 2 times minus 5. Press down till I get to the bottom and put 2 times 2. Hit equals. You can see it brings up the positive solution because I put plus in there. And then you press S to D. Now to change it to the other one, I go into the answer and put the minus in. So, fraction button first, minus 7 plus square root 7 squared minus 4 times 2 times minus 5, down arrow over 2 times 2. The more you practice, the better you'll get at that. So, that's how you use it. And it works in any situation with fractions, negatives, you name it. Let's give you one more to look at just to make sure you're happy. So here it is, equal to 0 again. I've identified my A, B and C. Write the formula down and then substitute the values in. Now the fact that B is minus 5 is the reason I've done this example. Be careful here, because minus B now becomes minus minus 5, which is plus 5. I've also been careful here. Watch me use my calculator in a lazy manner. Minus 5 squared equals minus 25. Because my calculator isn't doing minus 5 times minus 5. It's doing the negative of 5 squared. Okay, let's try and fix that. Minus 5 in a bracket to make sure it knows it's minus 5. And then square it, please, calculator. Aha! That's 25. So be careful with the negative numbers. So, leaving you for a second there to think on that. Pause if you need to. Let's go to here, type this in, and get our answer. Fraction button, 5. Put the positive in, square root, 25, take away 4 times 3 times minus 7. Arrow down, 6, because you can see I've already times A by 2. Hit equals. Press S to D. And I'm going to round my answers after writing the full thing down. So it's 2.57338 ... So that's 2.57. Now I can go back into this, remember, to change it to the other solution. It's here. So I'm going to arrow. Oh, I've lost it. Now it's not letting me, so I'm going to have to fraction button, 5 minus square root, 25, take away 4 times 3 times minus 7, down, down, 6. That's fine, got it. Doesn't take a lot longer to do it manually, and you'll get very quick at it. So it's minus 0.907. The 0 does not count as a significant figure, remember, it's the first non-zero. Okay. Practice that if you need to. Look at the next example. Tell me why I've picked it. So, our formula worked when it's equal to 0. So, take 2x squared off both sides, and that's what you get. Now I'm going to take these off so that I get it equal to 0. So taking 12x off, taking 22 off. State my values. Write the formula down, always. Substitute the numbers in. Look here. -5 is squared. Get my solution. And then I can find my values as I need to. This is using the formula with a hint that you may have to make something equal to 0 first. A reminder that you can leave your values sometimes in surd form. This is what we call this. If they say that's okay. If not, you're going to have to calculate. Always round to 3 significant figures, and a 0 doesn't count. Always write the formula down first, and watch out for B being negative, because it's the one that's tricky. Now you need to practice some questions.